4 people waiting. See the waiting room. Who's Jacob Moses? Esther Zayde. Are you in yet? You coming in? Yeah. Okay. Oh, 8 people. Everybody. Okay.
It's not the right one. Jacob Moses is Chavi Moses.
Yeah, no, I got him in. Hi, everybody. Your audio is going to be muted automatically for now until we get going. Chaim, there's 2 Yonis. Moshe Cohen, Mina, hold on. Anybody know who Aleph Edelman is? Mushka, that's you? Mushka is you?
I think it's me, yeah.
Okay, Tzvi is here.
Yeah, I'm in.
Who's Aleph Edelman? Anybody know who Aleph Edelman is? Hold on, I gotta unmute everybody. 1 second. Does anybody know who Aleph Edelman is?
I want this.
That's what it's gonna get too.
Not this.
Yes, but he has to
Anyone know who Aleph Edelman is?
Hi, how are you doing?
Baruch Hashem, hi. Antika.
Hello, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Hi. 1 minute. Anybody know who Aleph Edelman is?
Eliezer Edelman, maybe?
Okay. No problem. They're added. I'm muting everybody all. Bye, everybody. Hold on. Stand tight.
ואני שומעת לפי
אני שומע, אבל לא...
Okay, everybody's muted. Hang on, please. Okay. All right. Give me a second over here.
Okay, how do I?
Auntie Minna, you all set up, ready to go?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, I'll give you a heads up once you're on. I'll unmute your microphone and then I will mute you again. Thank you. Chaim, are you all set up? Everything ready to go?
If you sign in under Aleph Beis Gimel,
I'm gonna hang up with you for now, okay?
is your name as you Aleph Beis Gimel?
Goodbye.
Are you on?
Chaim, Razi, Yoni, can you hear me?
Join me.
Yeah.
Everything's good? You ready to go? Tati's ready?
Ty, you ready?
Tell him to check his message.
Check your
Okay.
message.
Thank you.
8 minutes, right?
Chaim, do you think I should put on a tie for Tati? Or he's just gonna laugh at me?
Well, since you always wore a tie, and if you like to wear a tie, then you can wear a tie.
I'm not sure I have a tie, but anyway, Tati was very medactic with time when it involved the communal people and the community. And so Mitzvah Shem at 2 o'clock, since you're up first, I've unmuted you already. As soon as 2 o'clock hits, which is in 6 minutes, with his clock. Let me get my calculator out and turn my phone on and wait for the time to hit. You will start.
Maisha,
Yeah.
Tati always wants us to be comfortable, and he knew that I'm not looking to strangle myself.
Okay, don't put on a tie.
So I'm sorry if I'm not wearing one, but you like to wear one, so you can put one on.
I'm just gonna step away and see if I have one. If I have one, I'm putting it on. If not, go line. Mushka, are you there? Hold on.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I just made you co-host. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody comes in the waiting room, please let them in. Whose iPhone in the waiting room?
My mother. I think that's my mother.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's my mother.
So can you find out?
Send me a knocky
Just do the link and her things.
Put your hand on your head if you know what water coming from a mountain is called.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Chaim, I'm letting her in. When we see who it is, I can turn her off if I don't like them.
Okay.
Don't show me the screen.
Okay. I guess it's my mother-in-law.
Oh, yep. Okay, very good. Hello, Mrs. Lowenbaum. Thank you for joining.
Well, I don't want people seeing me now, so put it down.
Mushka, I'm going to mute you, okay? Chaim, is that you in the background?
Where?
Ladies' class is on in the back.
No, that's ladies' class is finishing should be finishing at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is finishing? What time is it finishing? Take him to Yoni's room.
You know, Chaim, I decided Tati wants me to wear a tie. Let him come tell me in person.
We have to let your teacher know. Okay. Okay, so tell your teacher you gotta leave in a few minutes. Don't know what time it is. Okay, no problem. So let's put it quieter then, okay? Is that better? Yeah? What time is the class finish?
I don't know.
Thank you.
No, that's written.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
איזה מתאים.
Okay, I'm leaving it unmuted for 2 minutes until we start. Whoever wants to say anything to anybody can speak up.
We should all start yelling at one time.
Yep, exactly. In true
Gitta,
fashion, my father would love.
Hello. Good to see you all.
Yeah,
Hi,
nice
Gitta.
to see you too. Haven't seen you for I don't know how long.
Hi, hello.
Remember who I am?
Is it Mina?
She said my name on my
Why?
Time.
Yeah. I said, is it Mina?
I'm Minna.
Time, Moshe.
You got Gitta.
Yeah.
Hello, Uncle Victor.
Hello, good evening.
Very good.
Hello, Miriam.
Who's that? Misa.
Hello, Ilana
Who's that?
Hannah. Hello, Myer Hackner.
I'm stuck.
Oh, lovely baby.
Hello, Chaim David.
So,
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2 o'clock.
2 2 o'clock
Welcome,
there.
welcome, Moshe.
Huh? 2 o'clock their time.
Sorry, 7 o'clock in London.
That's it.
I believe it's time to start. I'm going to mute everybody now, and we're going to.
It's 2 o'clock their time.
We have to be. We have to be finished within 45 minutes, an hour. So we have a second one. So let's get this going. Hold on just a moment. I'm just adding a couple of people that are still joining right now. Mushka, can I ask you to take over the adding participants and keep in charge of that? Oh, her computer crashed. Okay. Chaim, I need to make you the co-host. Can you do that or not? Just a minute. We're having some technical difficulties over here, ladies and gentlemen. Chaim, you have it? You got it or not?
You're gonna watch this, Johnny? You wait till comes in. Your name and time.
Just composing myself. Bear with me a moment. Okay. Good afternoon, good evening. With the thanks and praise to the Eliezer for all the brachas we have to this point in our lives and for everywhere that we've come through and everything we've been through recently in the last month especially, and a little before then also. 1 second, where's Mommy? Is Mommy on? Chaim? Is Mommy on?
Yeah.
Sarah, is Mommy on?
Yes, can you not see? She might be the next page.
Mommy?
She's muted.
There you go. Say hi.
Mommy.
Hello.
Mommy, you're on? Mommy?
Yes,
Okay, very good. Can you see everything?
yeah, Baruch Hashem. I can't see that. Dvorah.
Okay, let me go spotlight video. Okay, Paismo Dvar Malchus. We'd like to start and, thank the Eliezer for all the chesed and kindness we've received until this point, and for the brachas that everyone has. In the Torah, it says, Ein muktam u'mocha b'Torah, there's no order. So therefore, whoever will be speaking today is somewhat in an order that I feel myself. I basically put together the order of who's speaking, how they're speaking. So that's not the covet, but the order that it was put in together. And so I would like to start by asking my dear brother, Rabbi Chaim David, to start with the Siyum Mishnayos in honor of the Shloshim for my father, Rabbi Eliezer ben Shmaryahu, and I'm going to start with Chaim.
Chaim. I'd like to thank everybody who took upon themselves Mishnayos to learn. This was my father, our father. And for those that completed, a second thank you very much. And for those that haven't, still have time to complete it. I'm going to do a Siyum now. Amad Abishur ben Levi. So the end of Vuxim, Shmuly took the Asra Kashbaruch, Lahanchel, Chalsadik, Tzadik Shalshmes, Vasova Ilomus. Each Tzadik is going to have 310 worlds. Shneim Lahamchel Eva Yesh, by the same amount. And Yesh, which is the match of 310. And it talks about the Ilam Haba. The 310 times is the amount that people have from here. It will be 310 times greater the world to come. Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Klapta, Lemotza Kashbachu, Kli Masik Brachol Yisrael Ela Shalom. If you shouldn't find any better vessel to hold good things in than peace. Our father, in the past years, used to learn Mishnayos every single day. And if my mind serves me correctly, I think it's It's a pair a day, and you finish the cycle in 2 years. And I know he did it multiple times. It brings down the inyan of the Mishnayos as part of the learning. The schar that Eibush gives is to tzaddikim, and the Mishnayos itself is entwined with that. Our father saw this as one of the many good things that he did, and something he took upon himself to learn daily to prepare himself. The other thing my father always was encouraged to do was Shalom, is peace. Something he held very, very close and very dearly, and he'd always try to help people out, to find some peaceful ground somewhere to compromise. And there should always be peace in families and all around. Shenema, it's usually the customary to say Kaddish when there's a minion present, but unfortunately, in these given circumstances, we're unable to do that. But I will finish with a Hadan. Hadan Allah, Shisa to the Mishnah, Hadan Allah. Daiten Allah, Shisa to the Mishnah, Daiten Allah. Loi Mishnai Minach, Shisa to the Mishnah, Loi Sis Nasha Minan, Loi Ba'am Hadeim, Loi Meda'asi. I leave it as the Eibush puts this time in us, put us through this time now that we're unable to congregate as a minyan. The Eibush will have to be the one to say the Kaddish that's usually said at the end of Mishnayos now. For those that may not have something to say Chaim with, I wish my father to continue to be Meir Marcovic for the family, and so Zayde got the better. We should daven on behalf of all the families, and everything they need, they should receive, and it should come easy. Chaim.
Chaim. Okay, as you all know me, I'm probably going to say l'chaim with everyone who says l'chaim. So if by the end of the meeting, I'm sort of wobbling off the chair or not by the chair anymore, you'll know why. No, I'm not. I'm actually maybe growing up a little bit. Not too fast, but maybe a little bit. Moving along. Thank you, Chaim. Your 3 minutes were up. I was going to cut you off, but I figured that my brother, for my father, I would like to ask my uncle Yonason if I can find where he is. Give me a second. Yonason, where's Yonason? Hold on. Nechama, that's you. Do you have video? Are you turning the video on, Nechama? Okay. My uncle Yonason, are you there? Anybody here from Uncle Yonason? Last time. Yonason? Okay, we'll skip Yonason. We'll try and come back to him. Auntie Gitta, you're up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Everyone can hear you. You're good to go.
You hear me? Okay. It's lovely to see you all, family, but I'm sorry for the reason, of course, for it. Sadly, we've lost many cousins over the years, and I'm now the oldest of our generation. This means that as we grew and grew our families, there were less opportunities to see each other. I remember most of you as children, very different from the way you present these days. One cousin in particular, very different in style to the way you are today, was such a wonderful mimic that I still think of him as a Cockney plumber. You know who you are. But Benzion, I mainly remember as a chubby-cheeked child with twinkly eyes. He grew up to be a dependable person of integrity, someone I could go to when I wanted to discuss different attitudes to topics of current concern. And he could always be relied upon to answer to the best of his ability with patience and courtesy. Chaval al de'avdin velo mishtachdim. He is missed, and love to you all.
Thank you very much. I believe we have Uncle Yonason online next, so I'm going to put him on and see if I can get him to be on. Nechama, I believe that's you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi, Nechama, yes, you're on.
Okay, leave me till the end.
Sure, okay.
Continue with the other people.
Okay. Thank you. Moving right along, let me see who I'm looking for. I'm looking for Shmuly Hackner, my dear cousin, representing the next branch of the Hackner family. Shmuly, are you ready? Here you go. You're up. 1 second. I think I muted you. Trying to at least.
Yep, I think I'm up.
Yeah, you're up. The spotlight is on. You're good to go. There you go.
Okay, so first of all, like what was already said, it would have been nicer to come together on a simcha, but it is good to see everyone. Some people I don't even know, trying to look way through over here. So when Moshe contacted me and asked me if I would speak for 3 minutes, I obviously said yes for numerous reasons. I will try to keep it to 3 minutes. And if you feel you need to cut me off, goes on to hate. The day that Uncle Benzion was nifta, I had a phone call from a very, very close friend of mine, probably one of my closest friends. And he called me and he said to me, he said, Rabbi Benzion was like a second father to you, right? And I think that kind of summed it up for me, what I kind of wanted to say. You know, growing up, obviously I had my parents, and even though, as most of you know, they got divorced when I was young, and obviously I saw my father throughout my life growing up, but I know that Uncle Benzion from behind the scenes. And as I got older and I learned even more of how much he, together with your brother the Chaim Channeh, really looked after the family. Myself, I would say Beroshim, throughout my yeshiva years, and then when I got engaged, being there, arranging the whole chasana, financially and on a practical level, to me, it was a loss, not just of a very close uncle, but of a second father to me. When I moved back to London about 16 years ago, I got to know Uncle Benzion on a different level as well. I would call him from time to time, and I know, and I'm sure many people will share about his askonas within the communities and his involvement in many, many pa'ulas that went on. And I would work with him from time to time if we made collections in the Northwest London area for bar mitzvahs or chasanas, or other, you know, community events or community affairs. I would work with him and he would administrate them through the Machne Yisrael Fund. And I got to know him also as an incredible asken, involved in many, many areas. And I'm sure many people can share, and I'm sure later on in the Stanford Hill event that will be shortly, many people will share his involvement within the community. And many people will share his, you know, he was a tremendous Talmid Chacham in his shiurim that he would give. I just wanted to share one small area that I noticed so much. Many people get busy with many, many things. And there's no question that Uncle Benzion was involved with everything. And to fill his place will take an army. However, I would call him sometimes and I would say to him about a pa'ula or something, or I would complain to him about something that needed to be dealt with. And sometimes he would turn around and he would say, yes, it's taken care of. And sometimes he would turn around and he would say, it's not my inyan, it's not for me to get involved. And the emes ge'onos and the greatness of an asken and somebody who's involved in so much is when to say no is just as much as a chesed, and it's just as much as an importance as to when to say yes. And sometimes the biggest chesed is to be able to say no. And I noticed that often, that he would know exactly when to say yes and when to say no. There was an emes that he would know that yes, I can get involved and I will do, or I will stay and leave it for somebody else who will be able to get the job done. Just to finish, and with this, I'm mamish close, even though I can talk for a lot longer, but I want to keep it short. There was a Maisa that happened over here within the community going back a number of years ago. And people don't even realize, and probably nobody has any idea what I'm talking about. But there was a group of people that were by a meeting, and Uncle Benzion was there. And the meeting was going in a certain mahalach. And at a certain stage, Uncle Benzion stood up, and he turned around and he said, this is not the agenda on the meeting. This is not what it's about. It's important that we discuss this, but it's not for now. It's for something another time, and we can discuss it. And his emes that comes out all the time of saying yes or no, yeah, this is the time, this is not the time, this is the place, it's not the place. mamish affects people that we can't even know. And this particular Meiser, which I heard about afterwards, firsthand, looking in hindsight, what he was able to save. And I'm sure there are hundreds of stories like this, which I saw firsthand as well, and many people can. And therefore, with that, I finish. I wish everyone over here gesund and nachas, and we should, be'ezus Hashem, get together for simchas in the future and only goodness in a revealed way. And let's hope be'ezus Hashem will be all united with Mashiach Sekenu Meir Yaminu, in Chaim Moshe, and everyone else, and Mazel Tov Moshe as well for the engagement.
Thank you, Shmuly. Chaim. Bruchim to you. Okay, Shmuel, I'm going to start. Moving right ahead. I would like to find on the screen, give me a second, Uncle Pinchos, you're up. Let me find you, 1 second, please. Uncle Pinchos, where's Uncle Pinchos? I don't know, just a moment. Miriam. Oh, I'm on the wrong page, sorry. Uncle Pinchos, you're up. Thank you. Okay, 1 second, can we hear you? Let me unmute you, trying to. I think you're on. Wait, why can't we hear you?
I'm not saying anything, that's why.
No. Schochet, you're on. Thank you very much for okay, thank you.
As a matter of interest, the word emes, which was mentioned just 5 minutes ago, is a gematria of 441, which if you add it up in the small osis, you get 4 plus 4 plus 1, you get 9. And 9 is one of the mathematical ideas which will never change. 9, 18, 27, 36 is always 9. So if you're a Baal Emes, then you're always an Emes. There's never any time when you're not an Emes. And the Rebbe and everybody else brings a Mishnah which says they were rivers which were liars. And the reason why they were liars, because once every 7 years, they stopped going. Even though they went for 7 years, the fact they stopped was not totally empty. That's a side point. The reason why we learn Mishnayos for a nifta is very poshut, because the osius of Mishnah is same as the osius of Neshama. And al pi Kabbalah till the end of Shloshim, the Neshama is floating. I don't know where. I'm sure there are some people here who can tell us where they are, but the Neshamas are still floating around. Benzion was famous for being a Isaac V'Sarich Simmer Be'emunah. And as I've said many, many times before, the Shmaryahu, which I don't know about, but I heard there's a special office, and the office has the title on it, Isaac V'Sarich Simmer Be'emunah, and it's always empty. Because those people who say they do, don't. And those people who say they don't, do. That's why it's always empty. But the thought was that the Benzion was Ehrlich 100%. And I just saw today that in Parshas Eilef Pekudei, that the reason why Moshe Rabbeinu, why he made a cheshbon of all the money, is they wanted to say that he was a shtikul ganav, that he wanted to, he would take from here and from there. But the real Mefarshim say that he was frightened that the money he was given wasn't holy enough, and he was willing to swap his money for everybody else's money. That's why he made the cheshbon, so everybody should realize that emes is emes, and it was 100% done. That's what else is there? Right. We are Zayde the Baruch Hashem that our Einikel, Mushki Grossman, gave the name to her first daughter as Yocheved. And everybody here knows that Yocheved was a mother-in-law of Shalom. But what was special about it was that she went back 5 dairas to our Myer Shriga and Benzion Shriga to show the importance of keeping contact with the family, no matter how far back, that the future dairas should carry on what the parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents did, and it shouldn't be forgotten. There's one thing Benzion has upstairs is that he's left durs of Anshe Shlomeinu, whatever you want to call it, Yerushalayim, And I just saw a story with Henoch Teller, who went into a shul, and he heard in the Svardische shul, and there was 3 people talking, where do they want to die? And he's listening, they're sitting in shul, and they had nothing better to talk about. And one says, I want to die in my office, in my business, sitting by my telephone, by my fax machine. And he's listening and he's blazing. You sit in a shul, and the only thing you can talk about is your business. Then he paused, and the fella answered, so I could say with a clear conscience 100% that every penny I earned was earned ehrlich, and whatever I done was ehrlich. So when I come to where I will come to, I can say with a clear conscience that I've done the right thing. And I'm still convinced that Benzion is arguing upstairs with the Malach. And his argument is the Shloshim finished Erev Pesach, or is the Shloshim finished today? Okay.
Schochet, thank you very much. I'm looking now for Sruli Krauss. Sruli Krauss is my cousin who is basically the same age as me. I mean, he's a little bit older than me, not very much, but he's, sorry. I'm looking for Sruli Krauss. Sruli Krauss, I think his birthday is in Nisan, or yeah, I think Nisan. Oh, you're there. Sruli Krauss, you're there. Okay. When's your birthday? Nisan? Sruli Krauss is, we have Bobby Leah, who is my father's mother, as most of us know. At least all of us on the Hackner side should know. Maybe you don't know, so now you know. And my Kala is also Leah. She's also on right now, so hi Kala. Those that didn't know yet or do know, now everybody for sure knows. Sruli Krauss is, Bobby Leah has a sister called Auntie Sally. And Auntie Sally had a daughter called Nina, Auntie Nina. This Nina, she's old enough to be my grandmother probably. But and Sruli is their son who lives in London, and we went for Pesach last year. He hosted us many times. Maybe he didn't want to. We showed up anyway, as Moshe does. Sruli, shkoyach.
Fine. So Uncle Benzion and Auntie Shoshana go back since my childhood, since I was a young boy. Don't have a big family, so my mother was very close with all her cousins, especially with the Hackners. Wherever they could do, they always helped. And Channeh was always calling up if she can do shopping when my parents got older. My memories are going over to number 29, buying the Herman Janssen Eiliker, Erev Pesach, and the cherry brandy Moshe behind the door.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly that. You know exactly where to find it.
Sure. So I'm seeing is as follows. All the simchas of all the Cohen cousins, whenever there was a simcha, which I didn't always go to, but whenever I went there, he was always there. Of course, he was holding in his hand his famous siddur with all the bookmarks.
Surely you can't have it.
Moshe, I want it.
Tati said no svarim are leaving the house while mommy's there. So until that, nothing's open for negotiation.
And yeah, he always met him. He came to Pinchos, used to come to Pinchos. He must have been Oisik, as the speaker before said, because he always took the last minyan, Mariv, in Pinchos. He always rolled up whenever it was, 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the summer and 12 o'clock in the winter. And he was always there. He always called me over. I had to go over when I saw him. Always had to go with him. He always had a good vote to tell me. He always asked me if I have a vote. And all of the tzedukahs, he used to call me up and ask me if I can help him with this or help him with that. So he called me up. This is one of the things I remember. He asked me, can you make a supper for me, please, for a family? So I said, yes. What do you want me to make? So he says, schnitzel, for the normal supper for a family of it. I can't remember, 6, 8, whatever. So he said, fine. So I said to him, okay, where do you want it? So he says to me, how much will it cost you? So I said, no. He says to me, can you make it like every week, like once a month? So I said, yeah, well, no problem. So once a month, a supper. So I said, how much will it cost you? Well, 18 pounds, 20 pounds. So I said, okay, please, can you transfer 18 pounds a week amount to this account? I've got a tzvek that I'm going for. So you would make, instead of making the supper, to send the money straight. Straight. That was his way. My mother, Shalom, she was very mishpacha minded, and every time I made the simcha, she would call me and give me a list from here to Kanasi of all the Cohen and Goldman Einiglich, however far fetched they may be. Until Shoshana, right? So, and I had to make sure I had to address the envelopes and send them all around to everyone. After she was nifta, which was just a year and a half ago, I made a few simchas since then. Who would I turn to? I called Uncle Messian. Can you give me the list? I don't have the list now. I didn't keep them. So I had to ask him for all the. I knew he came to all the simchas and he was very mishpacha minded. So he always, so he helped me with all the names. And if he forgot anything, he called me up. When there was any, we're a very diverse family. We have Hasidim, Chanyokas, have Chabadnikas as well, right? We have. I think it's only the Hackner family that's Lubavitch, right? I think it's only the Hackner family.
No, there's plenty more. Oh, which side?
No. Okay, we'll discuss this later.
Sorry. Okay, Sruli, 1 minute. 1 minute left.
No, I'm saying we have modern Orthodox. We have all sorts of and I'm seeing he kept up with every single one of them, and unfortunately sometimes there's not always simchas. There's others events as well. He used to call me up. Have you been to this shiva? Have you been to that shiva? I'll give you the number. I'll give you the address. Please go. And I went there. Of course, he turned up. He came. It was quite far away. It wasn't somewhere, I don't know. Can't remember the area where it was, but he told me about it, and he was there. And I used to go into them Friday night to get my Zexananzige. I couldn't get anywhere else. I used to have my little Chaim cup for Friday night. After I finished my Seder, I think that he only came home then. Right, Moshe? What time did you see the Friday night? 10, 11 in the summer, 12?
You know, whatever time I came by to you, so it must have been late or early.
Yeah. So I used to go in the good old days and Fabreng, although we're quite different in age.
That's my alarm for the second time. So I have to ask you to Schkoyach, say something small, wish the family well, and close.
Fine. Oh, you put me on a timer?
Of course. My father always had a timer. Gotta follow my father's tradition.
So yeah, we always had he was very, we could schmiz with him. He was always on, we could always interested in helping others. Schön. So Zarum aber die ganze Mishpocha.
Right. Shkoyach Sruli.
Also.
Shmuly Haskelevich is my nephew. Miriam's oldest daughter, Chayecheved's husband, the shliach of the Rebbe in Hamilton, which is upstate New York, about an hour from Syracuse or Buffalo, both of them, Ephesus over there, and representing the Edelman side of the family from Brumar, together with Reb Chaim over there, the young Reb Chaim, soon to be tzaddik, following in the footsteps, of course, v'chulu v'chulu b'dal. And Moshe's talking too much, of course, because Moshe doesn't stop talking. Reb Shmuel, you're up. Shkoyach.
Okay, you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Shkoyach, we hear you, yes.
Okay, L'chaim, one is first say L'chaim L'bracha.
L'chaim L'bracha.
Okay, I don't know why I got this chus. I got called by the family to be the representative to speak, but it's a big chus. I don't want to turn it away. So you probably think that the first time I got to know Zayde was after I married into the family. But the truth is that when I once came to London when I was a bacher for a wedding or something, came for Shabbos. We came right before Shabbos. Didn't know anybody. They were staying by forgot his name. Anyway, we sat in the corner of the shul. Nobody spoke to us, Azavi, because everybody was busy with their, Azavi, a good English shul, based Lubavitch. But there's one person who came to make sure, first of all, we were quiet. We didn't speak between the aliyahs, and also spoke to us and where you're from, and gave, nobody was under his too low to speak to him, and there's probably so many stories and things that you guys, I don't know how I could express it over here, but I was just thinking about one Indian. There's an episode on from Gem called on the website. The website 70 years of the Rebbe's, and there's a whole piece about the hookup, the live hookup that was arranged to broadcast the Rebbe's Sichos. So if you know, everyone knows the joke that Zayde always would say. I probably heard it 10 times. Is that you don't daven from your phone, because what are you gonna do after you finish davening and you close it? You're gonna have to kiss it, right? You don't kiss your phone. So Zayde always laughed at many things in technology, but at the same time, you see that he was the one who was brought the Rebbe's Divrei Elokim Chaim to technology, to the whole Yabeshus. I think from London went out to the whole Europe. So he was responsible for making, for bringing the Rebbe's words, the live words, which the Rebbe says the Sikha is, even though it's not a kind of a person, and we know that because it's basically metal and plastic banging on each other and just formulating something that sounds like the color of a person, sounds like a person's voice, but nevertheless. A person wants to hear, our hearts want to hear something live, the Rebbe says. You want to hear something chai, something that's happening now, and the Rebbe wanted to hear L'chaim and sing L'chaim back from those places. They heard it in 770 at the same time. And the Rebbe says the world is created thousands of years, and it was waiting just for this time. And the Eibishter created everything, the Eibishter created everything l'chvede. And Zayde was the one who brought that and transformed them. Obviously, that had a major transformation on an impact on the entire continent, the European continent. When you hear the Rebbe's Torah coming live, people coming in the middle of the night to hear it. So just the Hashkacha Pratis, the fact that we're sitting here connected, remembering Zayde with the same type of technology of hearing the voice, and even more seeing it, is just, it's marvelous that this is exactly the way what Zayde was involved in. What we see, what the lesson to learn from this is also that the balance that Zayde had. It was not that technology is everything. He knew that this is to serve Hashem. If you have a way to serve Hashem better, so then you use it. But if davening, which he held was inferior to davening from a throne than from a siddur, so then he laughed it up. And the best way to give Musar was that he would make a joke out of it, which just taught me such a lesson. Like so many times when I was a kid, you don't have to talk bad about a certain thing. You can just say how, that lesson I learned from Zayde is that you could laugh at it, make a joke about it, and then people realize, well, obviously that this is not it's not the best thing, and it's a side way that makes it is not the point.
Thank you very much. The next one who is going to speak in Mitzvah Shem on behalf of the family is going to be Slava Schochet, in representing my dear sister Sarah's side of the family. Where is she? I find her. Probably I said a few too many l'chaims already. Oh, Slava Schochet's on. Shkoyach, I'm out. 1 second. Slava, can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay, you're up. Go.
I had the zechus of having Zayde's first great grandchild born on his 70th birthday. Her name is Chaim. She'll be having her bas mitzvah this year. Mitzvah Shem. Zayde knew everyone, and everyone knew Zayde. For us, he was our Zayde, but to so many people in the world, and especially to the community in London, he was known by everyone with all his community work, whether either being a gabbai in the shul in Lubavitch, London, where he davened, or collecting the pushkas in the shul, giving shurim. He was involved with and on certain committees in the Union of Orthodox Hebrew Congregation. His house Israel he had with all the Yidden, and it didn't matter what type you were, and he knew how to talk and how to relate to each and every person. He was known for his respect and value for halacha and rabbanim. He was very strict and paid attention to detail with halacha and hagim, chassidish hanagas, and however strict he appeared to others, he was much stricter with himself. A story I recently heard about Zayde, which had to do with the minhag of not dealing with money on Motzei Shabbos. A man came from Golders Green or Hendon to buy an esrog from him on the last Motzei Shabbos of the month of Elul, as he was going to be away for the Chodesh of Tishrei. Zayde knew what type and around how much she would want to spend. After the man had chosen the one he wanted, he took his checkbook out to write a check with the amount. Zayde told him just to put it on the table as it was Motzei Shabbos and he didn't want to deal with money. Zayde would take care of many chuppahs, would do all behind the scenes, checking the customers and filling out all the paperwork, making sure the Eidim were kosher ones. He would even make sure that the chuppahs, there was a chuppah itself and the candles and the matches, wine and an easy cup for the chosin to smash. And we all knew this as these are all things that Zayde was part of.
Hold on a second. We're having a little technical difficulty. I think her microphone has been muted. I'm going to try and unmute her. Where is she? Can someone help me unmute her? Pushka, you got it? Hold on, Slava. You should be unmuted. Can't hear you. Okay. I will try and come back to you at the end if there's another couple of minutes. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead. We have somebody from the family who doesn't have a screen. Mushka, can you check to make sure that the telephone number that just called in can hear? Thank you. Oh, you finished. Slava is finished. Thank you very much. We appreciate her. Next one on my list is my dear Uncle Yonason. You are up. I don't have anybody else that wants to be talking, so I'm going to close my mouth a minute, or try at least.
Hi, everybody. My name is Moshe Hackner. For those of you who have never heard of me, now you have. Okay. I've been listening to all that you've been saying so far. Very nice, very beautiful things. I hope you're going to continue this, only saying good things about my brother, because he was a good person. And the expression, Avad Chosid min haaretz, definitely applies to him. Somebody who was ibegegeben zum Rebben, the Leva Nefesh, not coming from a Lubavitcher family per se, but becoming a full-fledged chassid of the Rebbe in all the takonos that the Rebbe initiated, all the different mivtzoim that the Rebbe initiated, and he took upon himself all these things in a very strong fashion. Whether it was Rambam, which we all know he gave Shir and Rambam every day. And even I heard one story from one of his kids that even by one of the children's weddings, they couldn't find him for the pictures. Where was he? He was giving a Shir and Rambam. Many things will be said about my brother. Many things have been said about my brother. And I hope that the family, everybody, and especially the kids, will treat each other with the utmost respect, no fighting about anything whatsoever. And the Eibusher should bench everybody with Arichas Yom V'Shanim Tevis, lange gesunte Jahren, und freiliche Jahren, and Simchas, and Nachas, Teuch Archava, and everything that everybody wishes for themselves should be fulfilled, b'miluam, in their entirety. And we should get together for Simchas very, very soon. And we look forward to a big welcome back party where we'll all greet our lost ones, our near and dear lost ones. And it's going to be a great Simcha, Be'ezus Hashem. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Yonason. Not sure how to stop this. Maybe my co-host can take care of that for me. Like they say, I guess it's my turn. I guess I'm up. I look forward to the floor afterwards. If anybody didn't know that we were going to be on, and there's still a couple minutes left, we'll have like about 5 minutes afterwards. If anybody would like to have a minute to say something. There's others who are here, and I want to say a couple of things. I want to again thank everybody for coming on. As my brother already said, I think I'm not sure anymore. I want to start with I can't say Kaddish either. I haven't said Kaddish yet, but can't daven with minyan either. But I know, and I saw, and I spoke to people, and I got messages that while both my parents were in hospital going through their health challenges, many people from across the world, in specifically the family with the Shabbos Tehillim and daven for both my parents, and one, my father, and my mother should be gesund and stark, as we say. Money can do many things, can't buy gesund and stark. So she should be gesund. Mommy, I wish you bracha, Chaim. Everyone has been telling me for many years I should drink more, I should drink less, I should not drink, I should drink. So I got to do what I do, because I don't want anybody to be chas v'sholom mitzi shemra on me that I'm drinking when I'm actually not drinking. But that's one thing. Second thing is I would like to publicly thank, on behalf of our family, Mr. Yerucham Raskin, who some of you know, many of you know, and some of you don't know, who for the last who's been known Tati for probably somewhere at least 50 years since he came to Lubavitch, and he, has really been a pillar of support for Tati. When I remember when I was a young boy, through all the events that he would do and all the times he would stand behind Tati in the shul and the gabos and the shiurim that Tati had between Mincha and Ma'ariv and Shabbos afternoon, and the Rambam shir that he did for 36 years. I remember we were in New York for my bar mitzvah, and someone called up and said that they were having trouble preparing the shir. The Tati arranged for them to prepare the shir, and Tati sat on the phone and gave this person on the phone the whole shir and taught him the whole shir in a fashion that he should be able to share the whole shir in Tati's place in Lubavitch, in the lounge where it was held during the week, while Tati wasn't there, so that chas v'shalom, the people that were relying on Tati to learn Rambam daily, according to the Rebbe's Heidois, the Rebbe's directive, he should be able to do it and fulfill his place. So obviously I know, my brother knows, my sisters know, my mother knows, and many of you might know. My father left very clear instructions. He prepared us very well how to continue doing many of the things he did. In addition to that, but Mr. Yerucham Raskin, for the last 10 years approximately, both to shul, which means coming to the house when Tati would be ready, if not waiting for him, and walking him to shul, in addition for waiting for him to finish in shul, till he finishes shiurim, and he closed up, and he locked the shul, and the last couple of years, it took him a little longer to get up and down the stairs. He had to go 3 flights up Lubavitch, for those who know Lubavitch in London, from the shul upstairs all the way to the basement, and get his jacket and his keys, and do what he had to do, and then go upstairs and make sure that all the doors were locked on the way, because it's his shul, it's the Rebbe's shul. And Yerucham would patiently wait for him every week, Yom Tov, Shabbos, Friday, anytime, and make sure he had somebody to walk home with him, so he wouldn't have, if there was any reason, he would, to protect him, to look after him, for keeping company, for all the above. So I want to thank Yerucham, in addition to everything he helped for the Levaya and getting mommy out of the hospital and arranging whatever he arranged. I don't even know what he arranged, because really I've got to thank Chaim, because Chaim was the one who took care of most of it. Chaim's going to tell me, Moshe, I still already, it's enough. You don't have to say so much. but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm his big brother and I don't have the right to, but I'm still older, so that's my only right. And all of you know who I am, so that's who I am. Finally, I would like to thank Rachalea and Mendel. I want to say Chaim to you. For Begashmiz, saving mommy's life. She fell over, she passed out from the infection. A Maisa Hey, doesn't matter all the details. You came down from Manchester right away, and you didn't ask questions. You didn't know where you're going to be for Pesach. You didn't know if the food was cooked. You cooked the food, you cleaned the house. There was this, there was that in the house. I know the details. No one else needs to know the details. Whoever knows, knows. There was stuff that they shouldn't have had to deal with, but the situation forced it upon them. And b'chesed v'rachamim, just like my father would accept any challenge you gave to him, whether he wanted to do it or didn't want to do it. And if he couldn't do it, he would tell you, you know, like my cousin Shmuly said, this is not my thing, but I can tell you who to go to because he knew who could take care of it to make sure that he wouldn't just throw you to the curb and say, "Geh avek, I'm not doing it for you." He knew exactly how to direct it, who to talk to. It's not what you know, it's who you know, as some they say. And Mendel and Rachalea and Mendel, whichever one you want to go, or both ways, they came down. They didn't know whether they're going to have a Seder, if they're going to sit at home in Liban Road on their own, because mommy was in hospital and Tati was in hospital at the same time. And you saved mommy's life. So on behalf of me, my brother, and I'm sure my sisters, baby shows on the bench, you two, to start with. So start with koyach and gesund koyach and nachas, and everything you need for your life. And I want to thank everybody again, Nachama, for coming on. And I've had my 3 minutes, and Chaim's like, my brother is very proper like my father. And he tells me, if you're talking between every speech, you're losing for your 3 minutes. But Chaim, I still got us a 3-minute slot. I don't know if anybody else want to say anything, but I want to thank everybody for all the Tehillim they said, both over the Shabbos, the way the Tehillim was split up into the 30, the Shloshim Yom of Tehillim, and they mamash within an hour or an hour and a half that my niece Mushka arranged to split up the Tehillim. The whole Tehillim was completed 3 times chock-a-block. And this is just family. This is not the Kehillah, and it's not the community, and it's not anybody. So all those that did extra things that I don't know about, or all those that you all know, ich darf dir nicht sagen. And the Eibusher knows, and Tati was the Ish Emes, like Uncle Pinchos said, you couldn't fight with him. My cousin Shmuly told me I could never win against Uncle Benzion because he was always Emes. With that, I want to ask one more person who I didn't see was going to be on. I'm happy that he's on. My cousin, my mother's first cousin, Shalom Simons, who I had the honor of being called after his father, Shalom. My name is for those of you that don't know, for those of you that do know. And I share the name from our uncle, Sruli, our great uncle, Uncle Moshe, Yonason, your uncle. I'd like to ask Shalom Simons to try and say something and try and keep it to quite close to as short as you can. Thank you, everybody. Greet Mashiach right now.
Moshe and all the family, I am very sorry to be saddened about the loss of your dear father. And there's not much more I can really say. As you know, I'm a man of very few words. Thank you very much for having me on. I wish you all well. Chaim Aruchim.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Reb Shalom, I know that you used to come by every Friday to check on Mommy and Tati. And every time you came, you didn't come for 1 minute. You didn't come for 1 minute, knock on the door and run away. So I know that you had many experiences with Tati and Mommy. You always checked on them. You lived out in Stanmore or Barnet, or I don't even know. I don't remember where you lived. It wasn't in Stamford Hill. So I knew you lived somewhere up there in the northwest area, wherever it is, or Edgware or Middlesex or somewhere else. And no matter what happened, if you were anywhere near Stamford Hill within a 10 or 20-minute radius, you made sure to come by, and Mommy made sure to look after you because you're cousins. So I think you might want to say something. No, I'm joking. Shalom, it's a pleasure to see you. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. If anybody else would like to say anything, I'm going to open the mic. If you do, please say something that you want to speak. If anybody else would like to say a few words.
Mommy, are you on here? Hey, I was
Maybe Meir Marcovic wants to say something.
Rabbi, willst du ein paar Wörter sagen? Rabbi, on behalf of the...
Where's your mother now?
Same for the ganze Mischbuche, du.
Meir, yeah, oh, very good. Let me mute everybody, and I'm going to ask Meir to
I
say...
said, where's your mother?
Hello?
Yes, one second. Meir, wie bist du? How do I unmute you? Rabbi, okay. Rabbi, I want to say first, for a moment, Baruch Hashem, my mother's home, in her home. Chassid Hashem ki lisanu.
Gesundheit bis in den 20 Jahre.
Amen. And for everybody that wants to go and visit, COVID does not allow. Therefore, we have to listen to the rule of the Medina. My father was a Shulchan Rabbi, please say a povet on behalf of my dear uncle Avigdor and that side of the family.
There's a lot to say about Uncle Benzion. To talk about as a great Yid. He always used to chapter me about my Hasidic inclinations in my house, which was a chiddush to him. But I took all the missa that he gave me to heart because, as you said before, everybody else said it was full of emes. He was a person. The most I took out from him, there wasn't a wasted minute in his life. He wasn't a man who sat down on the couch and just relaxed. Every minute he came up to Manchester. Maya, when can I come to your office? I need to print out some papers, some thiers that I can't have a Shabbos without these papers. Or whenever it was always some busy with some thiers. Walking around with his sforim, with all his bookmarks, as was it Sruli Krauss who mentioned that?
Sruli Krauss.
Yeah. But I hope we have to mention your mother, Auntie Shoshana, how Ibbegi gave him. She was always to him. You know, she always looked after every little detail to make sure he was comfortable in every sense, everything that he needed. What? Shani was saying something to me, but I didn't quite catch that. We'll have to have a discussion later. Was kann man sagen? Ich meine, he was the myth of a Goan Ehrliche Yid, a Fatzatische Ehrliche Yid, which they don't make them anymore like that. However, we can always take from his anhugas and learn from them and perpetuate further. Das ist ein Amerizisch für die ganze Mischbuche.
Schochet, Meir. I would like to ask Meir Marcovic, if I can find him, to please say a couple words. Myer Braceiner, Mavis and family. Can somebody tell me where? I got Meir. I think is that Meir or is that Chaim?
That's Chaim, but Meir's on Alex. Alex is Meir.
Alex, when we find Alex? Somebody help me find Alex, one of the hosts.
Listen, it's very hard to speak, but we grew up back to back. We saw him. He was part of our daily lives. He was a Yid. He always had a smile on his face. He always put other people first. He was constantly thinking about other people. His whole life was a life living for other people. And he was a man whatever what he believed in, given ad asof. There wasn't, doesn't matter how many arguments he had with my father over the years. This is the emes, this is correct, and anything what he believed in ad asof. You couldn't budge him. He was a great inspiration, and he was. I don't have the words. He's a loss to all of us. He should be a medis yosha for all of us, the ganze mishpacha, and especially for his choshev rabbits and Shoshana. I don't have what to say. Hashem should, they should help us as Mocha Hashem Dimam Al Kol Ponim V'Noima Amen.
Amen. I just need 1 more minute to say two more things, and I made a note because my brain Kananahara is not as fast as my body. So I want to wish my dear mother, our dear mother, on behalf of me. I don't know my siblings. I'm sure they included, but they didn't ask me to, so I can't say that they told me. Oh, we want to wish my mother, and that from over the last month, I've heard from many people about all the chesed my father did that either we knew beforehand or now that after the Meiser, after after Yud Beis Nisan, people chose to share with us because they felt it would bring milchama, whatever they felt. I don't know what they felt, but they chose to share with us about chesed my father did that no one knew about, and they knew my father did it for them. I'm finding out also through the grapevine, reading through the lines, between the lines, that Nishna, there's chesed that people haven't spoken about for all these years. That's chesed that we'll never find out because the people my father did the chesed for don't even know he was behind it. People have said it already today between the speeches that everybody's speeches, between whoever said a few words about my father, they all said that. And I wanted to tell you that my mother, Nishna, we knew for years, and we saw it in the house. I grew up in that house. Well, I haven't grown up yet, but I was a child in that house. And we saw my mother stand behind my father like Eshes Chayil for over 55 years, a rock, he's rock solid. If Tati said something, you couldn't even think to go to ask mommy to get it a different way because that was what it was. There was no question. There was zero doubt, not 0.01, zero. And mommy stood by Tati, and we knew that Tati was out in the street doing the chesed. Mommy stood behind him and did it, whatever she did at home, with all the different things, and that was what. And now I find out that mommy was in the trenches with Tati, knee deep in the chesed, completely doing it. Mommy, I give you a bracha, you should have kayach and gesund, and enough time to continue doing this. Ad me'ah v'esrim, and if interest and tax and VAT and bonuses. So somewhere in the 200, maybe you might be finished. And if you're not finished then, I'll give you another 100 bonus on top of that from my cheshbon. And I also want to thank, lastly, that all the people that I don't know about or I do know about or spoke to me and offered me or asked me or didn't ask me to say Kaddish on behalf of my father. My brother and I do not have a minyan, and we're not saying Kaddish yet because obviously, like my brother said, the Eibusher is saying Kaddish. So those people that know who you are and have offered, whether you've told me about it, you haven't told me about it, you have a minyan, or saying Kaddish on behalf of my father's in the Neshama, thank you very much. When I can, I will. And I told my father that I spoke to him. And we should all stay healthy and safe in these times. And may this Magefa pandemic, whatever you want to call it, this bracha, the bracha of allowing people to spend time with their family and to be close to their loved ones and to have a introspective into life and evaluate what the importance and what the kedusha we have, and what the value and what the Yiddishkeit we have. We have time on our hands because most of us are not going out and most of us are staying home, and you can't have your children for Yom Tov, and you can't go to Shabbos, and you can't go for Spazier. It's a bracha. The Eibusher gives us everything. Everything is a bracha. We don't see it. We see a little sliver. Tati looked for bracha in many things, and every time we would say something, we'd say, well, what's the good side of that? So stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you. We're going to continue in our father's legacy, and we've set up a fund, and I'm going to try and share out the link The link is for those that want to take a pen and paper. I'll wait a few seconds or wait a minute. I'm going to send the link also. It's donorbox.org/bhackner. We're going to continue my father's legacy in supporting our widow sister Be'ikr mainly, besides all the other chesed that he did that we don't know about, do know about. We're going to try and continue, and we appreciate your support. If you want to spread it out, you can do that. And the link again is donorbox.org/bhackner. And David should benches all with Bana Chaim Zener Richa, V'Kol Richa, and Iskalos Melech Mashiach with Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi. Take care from Yad Mamish. Eshakayach.
Moshe.